Hi dear students, hope you all are doing good. This is Panindra, I am faculty at Medici. Let me take the privilege of handling the last section of your great GATE preparation. Today I am going to discuss non-technical content because so far we have been taking so many technical topics from the last so many months. So this session is mainly useful to all branch students. There is no limitation for the branch of engineering. It is useful to all the students. In fact, it is very useful to the students who are very focused and sincere and serious and committed about the GATE examination. So let me straight away get into the topic here. During 3 hours of the exam time, what to do, what not to do. So whenever you see this statement, most of the students, they will take it very light. In fact, they will feel that this is a vague statement and they will take it very simple. But my past experience says that those students who are having the great GATE preparation during their preparation time, they commit a lot of errors in the examination time and they will going to regret so many days after the exam also. So let me take the opportunity here to share all my experience to you such that you will not commit the same mistakes what other students have already committed. Myself, I have written the GATE examination. In fact, I have been writing the GATE examination from the year of 2010. Till now, I have written the exam almost more than 10 times. I have topped all the times. So let me share all my experience and I will also teaches you what are the possible mistakes every year students can do. Okay, so that you will be evolved as a better person and you will not going to repeat the same mistakes again in the examination hall. Let me tell you what are all going to be the possible mistakes a student can commit during the examination time so that you will going to understand in better way such that you will not commit the same mistakes again in the examination. So again I am saying that you should have the patience and listen till the end. Surely you will not regret about this lesson. Okay, right. So before getting to the actual topic, let me explain the importance of this lecture with an example. Let me take an example of India versus Australia match. It is an ODI match. It's one day international match. So the overs are limited, 50 overs. Let's take an example like Australia have batted first and Australia scored nearly 285 runs in 50 overs. So what is going to be the target of Indian team? 286, right? And they have to score in 50 overs. Let's assume that India have batted very well in the first 40 overs and India scored nearly 235 runs for the loss of only 2 wickets in the first 40 overs. Those students who are familiar about the game called cricket, they might be feeling that it's a very good score and that too, India lost only 2 wickets, correct? But can you say confidently that India can win the match? Of course not, right? Why? Because anything can happen in the 10 overs, right? So this clearly implies that even though you have played the game very well in the first 40 overs, last 10 overs really matters a lot because the result can change in the last 10 overs significantly, correct? So similarly, even in your GATE exam also, if you have prepared very well with the confidence, commitment and consistency during your preparation time, till there is a probability that you may commit the mistake during the examination time. Clear? So I hope you understood the importance of this particular lecture. So let me straight away get into the contents here. The first thing I am going to explain from the day before the GATE examination. Because I am a teacher, most probably the students who attended my classes, they all might be knowing about this fact that in every topic, I am going to take it from the basics to the advanced level. So let me take you from the day before the day of GATE examination. So I'll explain what one should do a day before the GATE examination and during the day of exam and during the exam, particularly during the exam and after the exam, after the declaration of the result. So in fact, it's a package which covers everything in detail. I will cover each and every minute things in detailed way. Okay, so I will allot most of the time during the exam. Okay, because these two things, first two things, it is more or less, it is common to everyone and everybody are very well aware of that. But let me remind some of the important things. But let me focus most of my lecture during the exam. That means during the exam particularly, what are all the challenges a student can face and what are all the possible mistakes a student can do, how to overcome those mistakes, particularly in the examination time. Okay, because if you commit a small mistake, for example, let us say you have committed a small mistake in 2 marks question, then you cannot bring back that after the examination, correct? A simple mistake which you do during the exam can cost your life totally, right? So instead of entering into IIT, you will go to NIT because of single mistake. Instead of entering into PSU, you will go to the Delhi, again roam around the coaching centers. Clear? So that's why this session is really very important to all the students. So have patience and listen till the end. Again, I am saying that this session is really useful to the students who are sincere and committed and focused. Okay. So now let me tell you, in fact, let me start from this point, that is before the day of GATE exam. So most of the students I have seen in my experience, most of the students what they do is before the day of GATE examination, they collect all the short notebooks, they collect all the material and they collect all important points on the desk and they start reading from the morning to ending continuously. Okay, so this is a very bad idea, because I personally know that throughout the country, most of the engineering students, they prepare just one day before the examination for their university examinations and they will apply the same kind of methodology even for the GATE examination. Trust me, this will not going to work. The reason is GATE is completely analytical examination. If you apply the same model, whatever you have applied for your university exam, that will not going to work. In fact, whatever you have prepared in the last minute, that too in the last day, nothing will be printed in your mind. Okay, so the best suggestion is don't study anything, close all your books and keep all your books in the rack. Okay, and be relaxed, stay calm. If you are not able to be calm, then the best idea is go and sit in a room, idle, and be with yourself. Okay, be with yourself means what? You need not to do meditation and the kind of things. Just you can be with yourself in a simple way. Talk with yourself. Suppose, for example, close your eyes and then recall all the subjects one by one. Suppose, let us say, for example, control system is a very important topic. In fact, it's a very important subject for ECE students, electrical students and instrumentation students. So close your eyes, just recollect all the topics of control system one by one. So close your eyes and think about the basics of control system. That is the first topic in control system. And what are the important topics in the control system? Fine. And what is the second chapter in the control system? That is time response analysis. So what are all the important topics in the time response analysis and how the problems may be asked in the examination and what are all the important points that were discussed by the faculty. All these things one by one in detail should come to your mind. Suppose if you are facing problem with some formula or topic, then you are allowed to open the book and read only that particular topic. Okay, don't read the entire book once again. Okay, right, this is the way. If you practice your mind, then the things, in fact the topics will be printed in your mind and it is very easy to deliver this in the examination with the comfort. The last important thing what you need to do before going to the exam, that is equip with the prerequisites. See, most of the students, of course everyone will going to download the hall ticket and they will keep the hall ticket, but I know that most of the students, they will not give importance for these instructions which were written on the hall tickets. There are so many instructions which were mentioned on the hall ticket. You have to give importance to the instructions which are mentioned on the hall ticket. That too, this is a COVID time. They might write something new which previous students might not know. So that's why you should give the importance to this instruction and you should go through each and every instruction. Okay, don't overlook this, don't ignore this, don't neglect this. Okay, right? And please go with the 2 pens. So this statement, this is very simple actually, because you all are at the age of 22, 23, 24 years, right? So we need not to say all these things like take 2 pens and all this stuff, but still there are, as I am saying that I have been writing the exam continuously. Every year I am writing the exam. I have seen even these days also, some students, they come up with the only 1 pen and if that is not working during the exam, they struggle like anything and their mind gets irritated. Don't do that. Take 2 pens at least and make sure that these 2 pens are the pens which you are using from couple of days. Okay, don't buy the new pen and go with that. It is better to take the pens which you are already using, so that you will going to have some momentum with the pen. See, of course, this is a very small point, but again I am saying that I will touch each and every small thing in detailed way, so that you will not going to repeat any of the mistakes which were done by the previous students. Okay, now let me come to the most important time, that is during the exam. Okay, so during the day of exam, in fact, so this is very, very important. Please, all of you have good attention to listen this one. Plan your journey properly, in fact systematically. See, most of the students, what they do is, they will come to the examination hall just 20 minutes before. That's the wrong idea. Wherever you are, whatever may be the location you are, whether you are metro city or tied to city, any city you belongs to, you plan your journey time properly. It is better if you plan your journey one day before the examination. Try to reach the exam center at least 1 hour before the scheduled time. That is very, very important. I'll tell you an important thing here, because as I said, even last year also, I have seen some of the students who came to the examination center just before 30 to 35 minutes, and their center was allotted just to the next building. Again, they have to walk from here to there, and meanwhile 20 minutes gone, right? And unfortunately, they entered to the examination hall exactly on time. Clear? So these are the practical problems. That is the reason why you should reach the exam center at least 1 hour before the scheduled time. So you have to make your arrangements in such a way that to reach before 1 hour the scheduled time. And second thing is, reach the examination hall 30 minutes before the exam. See, I told you that reach the exam center 30 minutes earlier. After that, you have to find which block is allotted to you and which computer is allotted, whether you are in the third block of the center or the second block of the center or the first floor or second floor. All these things you are going to cross check, and somebody will be there at the examination center who verifies your hall ticket. That verification process has to be completed. So this naturally takes 20 to 30 minutes. That's why you should reach the examination center 1 hour before the scheduled time, and you should go and sit near to your desk, in fact in your chair, before 30 minutes of the examination time. Suppose if your examination time is 2 o'clock, suppose let us say your scheduled time is 2 p.m. Okay, so you need to reach the center by 1 p.m. and get the all documents to be verified, that is hall ticket and your address proof or anything, right? And then reach the examination hall before 1:30 p.m. and stay relaxed, sit in your chair comfortably, and then go through the instructions, because 20 minutes prior to the scheduled time, that means 1:40 p.m. the instructor or the invigilator gives the instruction to you that enter your login ID and password in the system, so that you will be able to see all the instructions. These are very, very important. Meanwhile, a notepad will be given to you, and the notepad looks like this. Notepad looks like this, and you need to mention your name as well as your roll number clearly on the top of the notepad. Once you ordered to, or once you instructed to go through the instruction at 1:40 p.m., you will still have 20 minutes of time to read all the instructions given in the exam. In fact, most of the students, again, they come to the examination hall at 1:50 p.m. and they will be so hurry and they won't read the instructions properly. Trust me, this statement is useful even for IIT JEE students as well as GATE aspirants also. Every year, there might be a possibility that they may introduce new things on the day of exam itself. That means in the exam itself, you will come to know some of the new things. That's why you should not miss at least a single instruction. Now, let me show you for sample purpose how the instructions looks like. This is the way how the instructions looks like. Once you open the instructions, then you will be able to see all the instructions like this, and you will have 20 minutes to read all the instructions carefully. Okay, so you can start from the first instruction. Many of you might be knowing about all these things because you have given so many mock exams, but remember that those are mock exams, they are not main exam. Okay, so the main exam may surprise you. Okay, so that's why you should go through each and every instruction in detail. How many questions are there, and how many questions are allotted for the numerically answer type, how many questions are of multiple choice type, how many questions are of multiple select type, and what is the negative marking criteria. All these things you need to go through that. And most importantly, when you are going through the instructions, you should give utmost importance to these kind of symbols. Okay, these symbols. So I feel that those students who are serious and sincere, they might be knowing the meaning of these symbols. However, those who have not attended the mock test, for them also I am saying that you should go through all these symbols clearly, and you should know the meaning of each and every symbol. So for example, see here, if you are having this blank one, then it means that you have not visited the question yet. So while you are writing the exam, suppose let us say after 1 hour of the exam, if you find any of these kind of symbols, then you will understand that okay, this many questions I have not attempted. Now you can see, that is, you can review the questions. There are some questions which you can review for that. So see this symbol, for example. So if that is a symbol, then it will remind you that there is some confusion is there. So you are keeping this for the review purpose. So these things you will understand if you know the meaning of these symbols. Okay, so that is the reason why I am saying that these instructions are really very important, and most of the students, they overlook this, but you should actually go through all the instructions. Now let me tell you one more thing here, that is during the exam. As I said, this is very important. In fact, let me contribute most of the time of this lesson for this topic, that is during the exam specifically. Okay, so what are all the challenges you are going to feel? But before explaining the challenges, I just want to tell you this point. Most of the people, they don't teach this, they don't tell this, but let me share my knowledge. You may follow this or you may not follow this. You may have separate strategy, you may have separate process and separate methodology, but if you listen this, if something positive if you find, then you can adopt that positive thing from my lecture. Okay, so the first 10 to 15 minutes, generally this is my case, whenever I write the exam, at least I will give 10 minutes dedicated time, minimum 10 minutes dedicated time to review all the questions. I will open the whole question paper and I will see the question paper for questions from the starting to ending, fatafat. That means very fast I will go through all the questions from the first question to the last question quickly. Then most of the students, they ask the question like this: sir, if you go through all the questions in 10 minutes, what is the use of that? Unnecessarily 10 minutes will be wasted. No, 10 minutes will not be wasted. I'll tell you the first thing, what is the advantage of viewing the total question paper in the first 10 minutes. First thing, if you see some of the questions which you have already prepared in your preparation, you will be very confident to address the paper. You will feel so much confident and relaxed. Suppose let us say you have prepared the complex numbers very well in the preparation. Then if you find a 2 marks question on complex number, then you feel so relaxed. So that will increase your confidence naturally. So that's the first thing. You will going to understand the strength of the paper also. So you will have some initial guess whether the paper is difficult or whether the paper is easy, moderate, how you need to approach all these things. So the dynamic strategy will start when you go and view all the questions from the first question to the last question. So the second thing is, you will be able to shuffle the questions easily. See, I'll tell you this thing. Suppose let us say there is an easy question at 54th location. Suppose let us say you have started the question paper by answering from first question onwards. But unfortunately, 53rd question, 54th question, 55th question, 53 and 54 and 55. These 3 questions are very easy. So if you start straight away from the first question, by the time when you reach 53rd question, time may be over and unfortunately, you may miss these easy questions. That's why you have to see, you must watch all the questions at the starting itself. Suppose if you find some theoretical questions, suppose let us say when you are going through all the questions in the first 10 minutes, you found that 23rd question and 24th question and 25th question, they are very easy and in fact they might be theoretical. So you can answer immediately. So many times it happens like this. In the entire question paper, you will be able to find at least 2 to 3 theoretical questions which you can answer just by looking at this. But if you start from the first, there might be a chance that by the end of the exam, you may miss these questions. That is the reason why you have to go through all the questions in sequence in the first 10 minutes. And the last, and more important thing, as I said, you can answer the theoretical questions so quickly. So the reason of doing this analysis is to understand the strength of the question paper. Clear? Right. Now let me show you like a sample thing, that is, so he is Raj Sharma, right? So this is the question paper. This is the way how the question paper looks like. Once you open this, it will be showing like general aptitude, because the question paper always starts from the general aptitude. On the right side you can see there is a tag here. You can see this tab here. So question paper, if you press that tab, then you will be able to see the complete question paper in a single shot. Clear? And as I said, these are the markers they have mentioned here also, that is how each symbol is allotted to different theme here. So if it is something like this blank, then it is going to be like not visited. You have not visited that particular question. Clear? So as I said again and again, the question paper will be mentioned here. So you have to press that to go through the complete question paper. Now let me tell you one important thing, that is how to maintain the notepad. See, these things when I am teaching, I am really feeling that these are simple things. But I know that many students who are writing for the very first time, they literally don't know how to maintain the notepad properly. They will start working on the notepad randomly like this, and at the end of the exam, before the end of the exam, while they are reviewing their answers, they won't understand their answers. So that is the reason why you should maintain the notepad so clearly. Now let me share you some of tips from my experience, such that they will be useful to you. That is, first thing, maintain the notepad clearly with the question number. Whenever you are starting any question, always write the question number here and then start answering the solution clearly. You may not be that good while you are writing your notebook in coaching center or in the classroom, but you should maintain the notepad clearly. Do you know what is the reason to write everything on the notepad clearly? Because after finishing all the questions, if you want to again review the questions, it should be clear to you, right? If you write zigzag way, then you will not be able to understand your notepad and you don't know where the mistake happened. Suppose let us say you have answered one question, it took almost 2 pages and you are writing like zigzag. So at the end of the 2 pages, if you understand that something went wrong, again if you come back to the first page, you won't understand anything. Clear? This is the reason why you should maintain your notepad clearly. Starting with the question number, write everything in detail here, right? And it is always suggestible to highlight your answers. Okay. So the reason is, see, let us say you have mentioned the question number 1 here and you have written the solution here. Once you got the answer, please highlight that answer. Okay. The reason is, after finishing the exam or just before completing the exam, you can review the answers. Question number 1, that is, what is the answer here? Whether you entered the same answer, the number pad or not. Clear? So if you answered something wrong, then there will be a possibility that you can change the answer. So first you need to be able to review your solution without any error, and you should also check whether you have answered, whether you have entered correct value in the slot or not. Suppose, for example, let us say 4th question in the paper, exam paper, is a numerically answered question. And the answer to the 4th question is something like 12.8. Okay, 12.8 is the answer you got, right? And you have entered that and you have marked this in the box in the notepad. Suppose if you wrongly entered this in the number pad, then there will be a possibility that we can change this one. That's the reason why you should actually highlight your answers. And then after checking the solution for 2 times, then only enter the answer and strike off the question number. So this is the one thing which I regularly follow. Even from the last 10 times, I am following the same thing. Once I mention the question number, I will complete the solution. I will not wait till the end of examination. So many students, they do like this. They will complete 40 to 50 questions and again they will come from the first question by verifying one question by question. That's a bad practice. In fact, that's a waste practice. Okay, because nobody knows that whether you will come back to that question again, right? That's the reason why once the question is completed, once the solution is completed, verify 1 or 2 times. Sometimes there might be a possibility that you may do some wrong calculation by using the virtual calculator. So at least 2 times you verify that. Once you are clear with that, then strike off the question number and enter the answer properly in the number slot. Clear? So this is the best strategy, and again you need not to come back this. Okay, after finishing 40 questions, again you need not to come back to the first question and verify, okay, first question is correct, second question is correct. No need to do this hangama, because you are doing at the starting itself. So that's why each question has to be answered, and then once you answer the question, you have to verify the answer at least 2 times, and you should also verify whether you are entering the correct answer in the number slot or not. Clear? Right. And last thing, that is always start the new question in the fresh page. This is one more thing, that is this year, in the year of 2020 examination, I understood this one. Okay, I understood this one, that is you need to start. It's better always if you start a new question which has a lengthy solution from a new page, because if you are writing the solution of one question in the near to the solution of other questions, sometimes when you are hurry or when you are doing it fast calculation, there might be a probability that you may confuse. Clear? That's why if it is a big question, then start from the new page, and if it's an easy question or theoretical question, of course it's not required. Clear? Right. So these are some important guidelines what I can share from my past experience, that is how to maintain the Notepad particularly. Now let me tell you, there are 3 different category students. Actually, I like this slide. In fact, I love this slide, because I found all these 3 type of category of students in the GATE examination since the year of 2010. Probably this is the same before that also. That is category 1, who prepared almost all the subjects. That means these students who prepared almost all subjects. Generally, they are very confident because they have given a great preparation. They gone through all the subjects. So almost they are very comfortable, because before seeing the paper I am saying. Okay, so they are very confident. And there are some students, that is category 2, who prepared a limited number of subjects. So for example, if I take an example of electronics student, ECE, okay, so because I am from the ECE department, so if you take an example of ECE students, they have some important subjects like analog electronics, control system and digital electronics, like that 4 to 5 subjects which are very, very important in their GATE preparation, which has a huge weightage. And there are some students, as I said, there are some students who prepare all the subjects. There are some students who prepare only limited number of subjects like 4 to 5 or 5 to 6 like that. And there are third category students, they are really intellectual actually, right? Category 3, right? I love these students who prepared only math and aptitude, okay? So math and aptitude and the index of some 1 or 2 subjects, that's all. They just go to the GATE exam to clear the GATE, that's all, right? So let me share the way how all these 3 category students should use the Notepad. So this is very important thing actually. So student 1, that is category 1, that means the students who actually gone through all the subjects during their GATE preparation. So you can start from question 1 and write down the detailed solution and verify the solution and enter the correct answer perfectly in the number slot, and then strike off the question after the verification, and then you can start the second question and again do the same procedure and third question like that. So this is for category 1 student. Okay, so that means those students who prepared all the subjects. Now let me share about the category 2, that means those students who prepared limited number of subjects. Actually, in my experience, I came to know that majority students, they fall in this category, that is limited number of subjects. So if you prepare only 4 to 5 subjects, let us say you prepared only 5 subjects, then how to approach this Notepad? I'll tell you a very important beautiful story here. Suppose let us say that is for category 2 students, if you have prepared control systems, okay, let me say control systems, and then you also prepared mathematics, and then you prepared signals and systems, right? For example, I took only 3 subjects here, for example. So before starting the answering of first question, you have to write all these things in your Notepad. And the great advantage is in GATE examination, the questions which are related to the control system, all the questions related to the control system, they are at one place. All the questions related to analog electronics, they are at one place. That means 53, 54, 55. Those 3 questions might be control system. They are in order. So you can go to the control system straight away, because these students, you have 180 minutes is so high, correct? So that means you have so much of time. So you can take the Notepad, first write control system. If you find that question number 34, 35, and 36. These are the 3 questions, 2 mark questions. They are from the control system right there on the notepad. And maths, suppose let us say 26th, 27 and 28. These are the 3 questions from the math. Please write down this one. And signals and systems, let us say question number 42, question number 43 and question number 44. These 3 questions are from signals and systems. These 3 you should mention on the notepad at the starting itself, because you have so much of time, you need not to worry from the first question onwards. Clear? So then you can start answering one by one. So first answer the control system question, question number 34, and check whether your solution is correct or not, and check whether you are entering the answer properly or not. Once this is done, then strike off this question. Then go to the question number 2, question number 35, and do the same thing for that. And once it is done, strike off that, and then go to the question number 36, and again do the same practice even for the question number 36. And once it is done, then strike off the control system and then go to the mathematics and do the same procedure here. Then you will understand whether you are solving all questions of the subjects which you prepared in your preparation or not. Clear? This is important. The reason is the category 2 students, they might have prepared control system, maths and signals and systems. If you are not going in the same way, then what is the challenge you may face? Let us say you have started answering from the first question, and first question is from analog electronics, you have not prepared. You will see that question for some time, and you will waste in understanding the time, understanding the question. You will waste the time in understanding that particular question, and again you will go to the second question, do the same thing. Finally, after 5 to 10 minutes of time, you will understand that these are analog electronics questions which you have not prepared. You cannot answer those. It's a waste of time. That's why it is better to go through the questions which you have prepared first. And once you have done all these subjects, then you can answer the questions of your secondary choice. That means you have prepared these 3 subjects and you know something about the digital electronics, then go and answer the questions related to the digital electronics. This is the way category 2 students can approach the question paper. The difference between category 1 and category 2 is category 1, the students who falls in category 1, that means those students who prepared all the subjects, they might not have ample time. Okay, their time is limited actually. But those students who prepared for, who are in category 2, they have so much of time. They can utilize the time more efficiently and accurately compared to even category 1 also. Now it's come to category 3 students. What is category 3? What I discussed about category 3? The students who prepared only maths and aptitude, right? And they are the real heroes of the GATE examination. Okay, so the reason is they will have so much of time. In fact, they can sleep for 10 to 15 minutes even in the examination hall also, because they will have so much of time to answer the limited number of questions. And for them, they are very comfortable. You can start from the aptitude questions and you can answer the questions of aptitude, and then you can go through the technical questions, whatever you are comfortable. Clear? So there is no particular limitations and challenges for the students who falls in the category 3. Clear? So, but I would like to mention this point clearly to all of you guys. In GATE, speed is important. More than speed, accuracy is important. Sometimes what we do is, we commit the mistakes, we commit the errors in our known areas. Suppose let us say you have prepared extensively well control system, and if you answered 2 mark questions wrongly, then you will feel so regret after completing the exam, and that will keep on hurt you. Okay, that's why you should be accurate enough also. Speed is important. More than that, accuracy is very important. Clear? Right. Now, what are the most common mistakes during the exam? Actually, this is the core part of my lecture. I just want to take some time. I want you to have the patience for another 20 minutes and go through the end of the, go through up to the end of the lecture. So what are the common mistakes students can commit here? Right? So let me share the first possible mistakes. Actually, these are the mistakes even I have committed in my past exams. Whenever I attempt the exam, every year I will come to know a new things and a new challenge, and I will teach the same thing next time to the upcoming students. So the mistake 1, that is a possible mistake. So when you open the question paper, this looks like this. Right side, you are going to have your name and a photograph will be visible to you, and question paper instructions and all this stuff will be there. And left side, when you see the question, you will be able to get some answer. Suppose let us say, for example, you want to go with the option B here. Okay, you want to go with the option B. Don't see the question and don't judge whether this is correct or wrong. Just imagine that option B, you want to go with the option B, right? And you will select option B here, right? Option B you will be selected. But some of the students, they forgot to click here, that is save and next. Okay, intelligently IIT have made this one. If you want to go to the next question, you need to press this save and next. Some students, what they do is, they will bubble this one, they will bubble this, and they will straight away go to the next question here. Clear? So they will click here, second question. I don't think so that is a suggestible idea. It's better if you click this and go to the next question, save and next. So once you complete your question, press save and then go to the next question. Don't jump to the next question directly. Clear? So that's one possible mistake students can commit here, because I have committed that. And let me share you the second mistake here. Mistake number 2. Actually, this question is related to instrumentation. So most of the students, that means those students who are a part of the instrumentation, who are not instrumentation students, they might not understand this one, but not a worry. I just want to understand, I just want to tell you what is the mistakes the students can commit. So understand the theme. Don't try to understand the question and judge whether the answer is right or wrong. Okay. So the second mistake is, see, there is a lengthy question here, right? And they have answered. So the magnitude of the output voltage of the bridge in millivolt rounded off to 2 decimals place is dash. Suppose let us say, after solving this entire question, you got the output voltage of the bridge V0 as 0.2 volt. Clear? 0.2 volt. Most of the students, not most of the students, many students, what they do is, after solving this question, almost they may take like 3 to 4 minutes of time or 5 minutes of time. After 5 minutes of time, as they have solved so lengthy problem, once they got the 0.2 volt, they will immediately type 0.2 in the number slot, and they will think that, okay, answer is completed. But the problem is, they have asked in millivolt, correct? In millivolt. You should give utmost importance to what is written in bold letter at the end of the question, in millivolt. So your answer is correct, 0.2 volt is correct. But as the question is demanding in millivolt, you should answer the question as 200, correct? So if you write 200, then only your answer will be correct. Even though you got the correct answer, as you have not gone through this statement properly, there may be a wrong way to commit the mistake. So those students who entered 0.2 volt here, that is wrong. You should enter this as a 200, because at the last statement they mentioned that in millivolt. Clear? So number of times, even myself, I have committed these mistakes, and I have come to know even there are many toppers in previous batches who committed this. Because of that, students got the rank like 30, AR 30, AR 40. Just because of this small mistake, instead of getting a rank below 10, they got like 30, 40, 100, sometimes like that. Because the competition is so heavy, even a single mistake that will make you not to sleep. Okay, right. So this is the second possible mistake. And the third possible mistake. So this is electronic students can understand this in the better possible way. But this, as I said, this is useful. The theme of the story is even useful for any branch of the students. So this is a question particularly related to the diodes. And it's an analog electronics question. So they have asked what is the current that is flowing through this branch in this direction. For example, I am not solving this question, as there are many mechanical students are there in the live live session, and even there are some civil engineering students also. I don't want to solve this question. So let us assume that you got the answer for this Ix, okay, so which is equal to something like 4 milliampere current. Okay, so in fact sometimes you may get minus 4 milliampere. So let us assume that you got minus 4 milliampere in this direction. So you should enter minus 4 here accurately. Clear? So that means the direction is very important. Sometimes what happens is, they may give the direction of current in this way, and you might calculate the direction of current in this way, and when you are getting the answer in this direction as minus 4 milliampere. Suppose let us say you got minus 4 milliampere by taking the current direction in this way. But for example, in the exam, if they ask this direction, then what is going to be the answer? You should not enter like minus 4, rather you should enter the answer like plus 4. Clear? And this is also a possible mistake students commits in the examination time, because after solving so much, they will be very joyful and they will enter the answer just like -4 without recognizing properly the direction of the current. Clear? So be careful with this current directions, milliamperes, microamperes, millivolt, microvolt, because you cannot take back the time which you spent, which you are going to spend in the exam. Okay, so this is the third possible mistake. And the fourth possible mistake, again this year, that is in the year of 2020 only, I have committed this mistake. So let me share you what is the mistake here. That is, so this is an example. So there is one question here. This is also related to electronics. In fact, it is related to digital electronics. So they asked some conversion time. Okay, don't worry about the question here and don't worry about the solution also. They asked some conversion time. Let us imagine that you have solved this question and you got the conversion time as 10.8 seconds. Okay, 10.8 seconds. Now there are two problems here. I'll tell you. When you are entering 10.8, you must look at whether they are asking in millisecond or not, or whether they are asking in seconds. That is the first thing you need to be careful, because there are no options here. If options are there, at least you will recollect that okay, question might be in millisecond or question might be in seconds. That you can take care. But if the options are not there, then you must take care about everything so clearly, right? So 10.8, while you are entering 10.8, you will take the mouse and you will press 1, right? Fine. And then 10, right? Sometimes what we do is, instead of pressing 0.8, you will again press 0 and 8. So what will going to happen? It will enter like 108 rather than 10.8. Okay. So this is a small mistake, because while you are pressing 0 and this decimal, both are nearby each other, correct? 0 and decimal both are side to each other. Then instead of pressing the decimal point, there might be a chance that you may press the 0 again. Clear? So what is the correct answer? 10.8 milliseconds. But how much you enter? 108. And you will not be able to recognize this immediately. That's why I am saying that after entering the answer, you should cross check whether you are entering the same answer which you got or not, properly or not. Because you have done a lot of hard work to get this answer. And finally, if you are entering wrong answer here, right, you may be happy that there is no negative mark. But nobody will going to offer the positive mark also, right? If it is a 2 marks question, you lost 2 marks because of, carelessness. Clear? So that's why be careful while you are entering the answers, right? So and then, yeah, allotment of the time. So I have covered most possible mistakes what students generally commit in the exam, and I have taken my personal experiences also. Now let me share you allotment of the time. That is how one should allot their time in best possible way so that to get the best result. Okay. So this I have practiced. In fact, I am practicing every time. Every time I sit in the exam hall and I approach different strategies, so that I'm still in the process to get the best possible strategy to teach to my students. That is technical questions. You all people knows that there are how many technical questions? 55 questions of technical, right? Out of that 1 mark questions. So you all know that 1 mark questions of number of questions, that is the volume of the questions is 25. Even if the questions are simple, even if the 1 mark questions are complicated, don't spend time more than 40 minutes. You should complete all these 25 questions within 30 to 40 minutes of time. I'll tell you the reason. Suppose let us say you felt so much interest in 22 and 23 and 24 questions. Okay, they are 1 mark. First of all, they are 1 mark questions. And you are so joyful while you are answering this, and you spent 20 to 30 minutes only to answer these 3 questions. Okay, this is completely ridiculous, right? Why? There might be a possibility that in 2 marks question, 45th and 46th and 47 might be very easy. Who knows that? Sometimes you may regret that. So there is possibility that some students, they answer the 1 mark question almost around 1.5 hours. Okay, and then they will go to the 2 marks question and they find that there are so many 2 marks questions which are easy, but they don't have the time to answer those 2 marks questions. That's why even though the questions are simple or difficult, you should wind up the 1 mark questions in 30 to 40 minutes. Suppose let us say after 40 minutes still the 1 mark questions are not completed. That means the paper is set in such a way that students can waste their time in answering 1 mark questions. So it's better to go to the second 2 marks questions. Clear? So that's why the maximum and optimum possible affordable time for to answer 1 mark question is 30 to 40 minutes. Now come to the 2 marks questions. So the number of questions are 30. I'm talking about technical questions. Okay. So the affordable time is 100 to 120 minutes. Clear? So again I am saying that as you have gone through the entire question paper in the first 10 minutes of time, you will be able to understand what are all the easy questions that are present in the 2 marks. First answer those questions which are easy in 2 marks and then go to the remaining questions. Trust me, in every year, in every branch of engineering, that may be EC, electrical, mechanical, or maybe civil or chemical, anyone, at least 3 to 4 good questions will be there in 2 marks area, and 2 to 3 good questions will be there in 1 mark area also. Okay, so if you find out, if you complete all the easy questions and moderate questions, then come to the difficult questions and try to answer that. But don't waste the time while answering these difficult questions. If you complete all the remaining questions, then you can come here. Otherwise, what happens is if you start answering only difficult questions by taking a lot of time, then you will not be able to get good time and reasonable time to answer the moderate and easy questions. Clear? It is always possible that 53rd and 54, 55, the questions which are at almost ending, most of the times they are very easy. But majority of the students, they will not reach up to that point during their 3 hours of time. That's the problem. Clear? So now coming to aptitude. So aptitude number of questions are 10 and the affordable time is 20 to 30 minutes. See, all these things I have understood because I have written the exam many times. So it doesn't mean that everybody has to go with the same frame. But I am saying that this is what happened to me and this is what I found. If it is suitable and if you feel comfort with this, then you can adopt this procedure. Clear? Right. So let me tell you one of the most frequent questions the students ask this year. This year also many students, they have called me personally and they asked this question. Sir, when to answer the aptitude question? I don't want to say the answer to this. I want to bring the answer from your side. Okay, you should answer this question. So let me tell you here. That is, see this question. This is the aptitude question. It is 2020 aptitude question. This is. Just read the question. So let me read the question, statement of the question. P, Q, R and S are to be uniquely coded using alpha and beta. If P is coded as alpha alpha and Q is coded as alpha and beta, sorry, alpha comma beta, then R and S respectively can be coded as dash. Okay, so do you think that this is a difficult question? Definitely this is not difficult question. It's a very easy question. In fact, for the electrical branches, this is too easy question, damn easy question, right? So if you take alpha and beta, how many combinations are possible? Alpha, alpha and naturally beta, beta and then alpha. So the first thing is like you can take in this way, that is alpha, alpha, because they have mentioned the order here, right? Alpha, alpha and then alpha, beta and the probability is beta and alpha and last one should be beta and beta. Clear? These are all the whole 4 combinations which you may get by using alpha and beta letters. Correct? So this is not difficult question. You can answer this very easily. But remember a situation, if you are almost at the end of the exam, just 3 to 4 minutes before closing the exam, if you come to this question, can you answer this question? The time is reducing in red color, right? 175, it starts from 180, countdown will slowly come. And by the time when it comes to 20, here you can see this time mark here clearly, right? One second, I'll show it to you so that you will understand better way. So here this time will be indicated, right? By the time when this countdown reaches to 20 minutes, it will turn into red color, right? Once the time converts into red color, then a great pain will start, right? So that's why during the last 10 to 15 minutes, when you are so hurried, when you are in so much tension, when you are in so much panic situation, you will not be able to answer this question easily. In fact, your hands will shiver and finally you will not do anything. And this happens with majority students. I am not saying that every student will be at the same level. Clear? So now I will show you one more question also. See, this is one more question which was asked in the year of 2020. Of course, I answered this question at the end only during the examination. So this is actually a very easy question, but it looks like a chart. There is a data here, all this stuff. If you answer at the starting of your examination, it takes more time. Suppose if you answer at the end of the examination, you will not be able to do it because of confusion, because you feel that, oh, the data is more, the figure is big, can I do this question, shall I go to the other question? And in the process of confusion, while you are switching from one question to other question, you will not be able to do both the questions. You will leave both the questions completely. Clear? That's the reason why you should not, it is suggested